Hey guys, welcome to the channel. So I've got something very exciting for you guys. Something that I've been working on in the background for quite a while. We've got a project that we've been running with Keele University. It's called the KRISP Project. And basically they help out businesses with things that they want to bring to market, or something new they want to research. And essentially we get the help of an academic professor and a student as well for a couple of hours. Now, thankfully, we've got two students helping us with this. So we've got Matthew and we've got Cassidy. They're both at different skill levels of in their sort of computer science and data science world. So it's a good sort of little experiment we're doing. But essentially what we're doing is we are building a AI model from scratch. I want to show their process. So it's going to be very, very loose and free. There's not too many constraints as to what we can and can't do. But it's going to be quite a cool little project to showcase, in that it's not that difficult to get into artificial intelligence, or it's not that difficult to have your own project as a business. So guys, I'm going to hand over to Matthew and Cassidy. They're going to just explain, as a first part, what AI is. A lot of people who come to the channel, they may or may not know artificial intelligence, so it's good to get an understanding of that. So I will hand over to them.
Hi, welcome to our channel. I'm Cass.
And I'm Matt.
We're going to be talking about artificial intelligence and what is meant by AI.
Yeah, so AI, or artificial intelligence, was originally supposed to be machine intelligence that's supposed to be equivalent to human level intelligence.
There are two types of AI. There is strong AI and there is weak AI.
Yeah, so strong AI, or artificial general intelligence, was what I was talking about, which was the original idea of what AI was supposed to be. It's supposed to be computers that can perform any number of tasks, that can do deductive reasoning and logic, just like a human can.
So that would be machines that can think rationally and think like a human, and act rationally and act like a human. And then there's weak AI, which is what we see more of. And weak AI is AI that's meant to solve a specific task. So this would be things like a chatbot, or self-driving cars, or your Netflix recommendations, or in our case, it could be a use case analyzing cryptocurrencies. When we talk about artificial intelligence, there are many subsets of artificial intelligence. So machine learning is a subcategory of artificial intelligence, and within machine learning, there's deep learning. So machine learning refers to a model that is trained to complete a task based on a data set that it's given, or historical data. This can be used to predict outcomes. So, for example, if you give this machine a set of pictures of dogs, it should be able to learn from that what is a dog and what's not. So if you show it a picture of a donut, it should be able to tell you that's not a dog. In the real world, we see this play out with businesses. They should be able to use their machine learning model to predict how likely a customer is to shop at their store, whether or not they will buy their product.
So within machine learning, we have deep learning. And deep learning refers to a host of more complex algorithms, which, unlike machine learning, which you have your input, your generally labeled input that you know, then you know what sort of output you're expecting. With deep learning, you have more complex algorithms which extract features from a data set that you might not even expect it to be in there in the first place. So most deep learning algorithms utilize deep neural networks. Now, neural networks refer to a computer model which was originally intended to be a simulation or a prediction of what how the human brain might work. And so in this project, we're going to utilize deep neural networks to form some price prediction of cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin.
So the main difference between machine learning and deep learning is that machine learning is not as complex. With machine learning, you know roughly what you want your outcome to be or how you want your outputs to be modeled. Whereas with deep learning, we don't know what the outputs are going to look like yet. The model determines that for us.
When a lot of people think of AI, they think of it as it's too complex, it's too hard, and you need to be able to, you need a high level of coding skill to be able to even get into it. But in reality, there are a lot of available tools online that can easily allow you to start coding, start using your data properly, and perform machine learning or even deep learning tasks.
So a lot of people think that you need to be a coding wizard to do all of these things, when in reality a lot of these models are built using the language of Python, which you don't need to be proficient in order to build some of these, because there's so much stuff already out there available to us. So for example, there's websites like GitHub, which is an open source community where people can kind of share their code with each other and it becomes collaborative. So you can find a model on there of something you want to do that somebody else has already published, and you just take that and kind of build off of it. So you don't need to know how to write the whole program from scratch. There are also things like Kaggle, which is another site that has loads of data sets publicly, freely available. And as for learning the languages, you can learn to code on millions of different websites. Even YouTube has a lot of that. But like I said, you don't need to be a programming wizard to implement some of these AI strategies that are really useful to businesses.
A lot of businesses think that AI is just for the big corporations and it requires its own specialized department with a lot of money pumped in before they can receive any of the benefits.
In reality, small and medium-sized businesses can benefit from these AI strategies as well. They're the ones that actually these strategies prove more effective for. So small businesses actually can benefit from these because they get real-time feedback reassuring them that they are making the best decisions for their business in that moment.
So in the next video, we're going to look at the cryptocurrency use case that we're going to explore throughout this project. We're going to look at the data sets, the different programming languages that we can use, and the challenges that we'll have to look at while exploring the methodology of this project.
In the meantime, subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, and ring that bell. And stay tuned for the next video.